Sometimes when it comes to selling a property, one of the main concerns is capital gains taxes. And that can be especially concerning when you're the surviving spouse and your husband or wife passed away recently and now you have to sell the home. A lot of times what'll happen is called a step up in basis. And what that means is that instead of the IRS using the cost that you originally paid for the house as your base value, they'll actually use the fair market value of the home on the date of the death in order to reevaluate what you paid for the property, which can reduce your tax basis considerably when you sell the home, and your capital gains can be much, much lower. This is something that somebody in this situation might want to talk to a tax person about. I'm not a tax person and I do not give tax advice, but what I can tell you is if you take this into consideration, call a tax person and find out that if you sell your home, what basis will you be using? What you originally paid for the house or the new stepped up basis at the time of the death of your spouse? In addition to that, in order to come up with the reasonable fair market value for your house, you have two options. Number one is to call an appraiser and have an appraisal done, which is retroactive to the date of the death. Or you can call a local real estate professional and you can ask them to do what's called a comparative market analysis. Now, whether or not the IRS accepts one or the other is something I'm not too sure about, but many of my clients have used comparative market analysis approach instead of a full-blown appraisal, and the IRS has been fine with that. The reason that I say that is because the CMA version versus a full appraisal is either free or a lot less expensive. If you'd like to know more about what you can do in the event of the death of a spouse and how to handle it from a real estate perspective, please go to the link that's in the body of this message. It will take you directly to where you can download a PDF that gives you tips and tricks of how to handle the death of a spouse when it comes to your real estate holdings.
It's good advice.
That's good advice.
Good advice.
That's good advice!